Hello. So this is a advice from the universe reading that I did last night. Um, and I wanted to share this message in case it's helpful to anybody else and see what happens. And then I was thinking I could pull maybe another couple cards and just see what comes up after sharing this with you. So I have my handy dandy notes here, so no secrets. Little bit, just a second about me. I am a woman who works in technology and got into healing, a journey healing, or a journey of healing in the last couple years through tarot. And I have never been happier and more alive, I feel, and just more clear. So I thought, hey, why not share some of the magic? So that's what got me here. So with this advice from the universe, I do the first card is what I need to know. And then the second card is a perspective to consider. And then the third card is advice or an action. So with this one, I felt that this message was so clear for where I am in this new year and this powerful, 1 year that we're entering. And the star coming out in what I need to know, I wrote here, I am made of the same stuff as the stars, and that we all are. I felt that this was a big reminder that we could benefit from right now. I also wrote here, I have everything I need inside me already. I always have. And this has been something that's become really clear to me over the last, couple years as I've been doing this work. And I just felt that that message had never been clearer when I pulled this. And I had pulled this last night as I had set this whole thing up for the first time, where I actually have the stand and I have the microphone, and I've been gathering all of these things over the last several months, knowing that this was something that I would like to try to do, but I've never actually hit record. So even last night I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just do a little advice from the universe. And the topic I chose was going deeper and not getting lost, because of this theme card I pulled from this deck, which was the 12th house. And so that really just hit me, and I've been wanting to go deeper. And so it really resonated with me. And so I just said, oh, instead of recording, I just did the reading. And I've been thinking about it all day that, why am I avoiding hitting recording? And I sat with this message again tonight, and I thought, you know what, this is just yelling at me to share it. So I'm just going to do it. So when we get to the perspective to consider in the Three of Swords, I instantly thought how our mind kills potential. It stops it in its tracks, that critic in our head. And that's really what swords represents, right? Is the mind and the logic, and how that can really, interrupt all of the potential that's always around us, that and prevent us from seeing that potential, or we might even see it and it prevents us from taking action. Just like I was just talking about when I was sharing my story about pulling these cards and trying to hit record for the first time. And I also think, remember my dedication to embodiment for 2026. I always, the last couple of days, this will be my third year, where I pick a word to remind me of the theme for the year, the word of the year. And this year on January 1st, I picked embodiment. And this card, a perspective to consider, really hit me with, really getting clear about what that word means for me this year, not hand waving a feeling, kind of getting even more clear, because I think I'm kind of struggling a little bit with like, what does embodiment mean? And I'm kind of getting in my head a little bit about like, am I doing embodiment right? Um, and then, the next thing I wrote, of course, is stop trying to control the outcomes and let the truth of living through, the truth let the truth live through me no matter what it triggers. Stay open, let it in, see it fully, and release. And I feel like kind of what I wrote there is what I imagine, what I believe embodiment is in a lot of ways. So I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time thinking about embodiment and how I practice it and how I really get good at living it in my life. Because 2025, I spent a lot of time really understanding what receiving is for me. It was an Empress year for me, personally, for my birth year. And I spent a lot of time realizing that I'm, you know, that my masculine was really out of balance. I was heavily in my masculine for, a decade. And that feminine was, really struggling. And you don't, I didn't even know it. Like, I didn't really know it. I kind of, you don't really have these words until you go through some of this healing. And now I have all the words for it. But when I was in it, it didn't necessarily feel like I was necessarily struggling with it. But it definitely hit me last year that was the work. And then this year, my personal card is now the Emperor. So that's why I chose embodiment. So then we get to the Queen of Wands here. We've got the advice position on the third card. And I wrote here, stay open to my vision no matter what. That's what the Queen of Wands screams to me. My vision matters. And this is something that I have been working on as well, realizing that I had gotten into really being dedicated to supporting other people's visions and losing, my own vision. And I didn't really even realize that had happened, because I am really, I'm an achiever, I'm a maximizer, I'm really great at work and, excelling. But when I really got real with myself, I started realizing, whoa, I at some point stopped really having my own vision and kind of entwined my vision with achieving. There was, something there about achieving versus a vision that I've been working through. So I, just thought sharing that might help somebody think about the Queen of Wands in that, I'm not afraid to have the heat on me. I trust my ability to make decisions that have real impact. That is embodiment of the Queen of Wands that I'll be taking with me deeply for the next, couple weeks here to really go deeper on this topic for myself. And so I think we can go in here and let's just, see what comes out for the live event here. Spirit, thank you for being here with us. Let us know if there's anything else that would be great for a closing message here with whoever's joined us. Oh, there it is. Oh, the Seven of Cups. Okay. Wow. Well, we've got lots of options here, I'd say. When I think about the seven, I think about mastering being seen. And when we think about the cups and particularly. You know, we always have all how we show up in any moment is always our choice, and how we respond instead of reacting. And this feels very much like an embodiment component in this message about, you know, the star is all about being seen and realizing that, you know, that we're a star, that we all, you know, that we really are, and that we're here to shine. And being seen isn't easy. I know, you know, there's a million books, there's a million people talking about this. We all can talk to anybody in our lives about this, you know, really allowing ourselves to figure out how to pause and digest before we react, or before we, you know, respond instantly. Letting ourselves have that breath, and, you know, that time that it takes to get really good at that, I think is a practice really worth investing in. So if you're considering a practice, you know, this could be a door opening for you to say, you know, which I know I am walking through right now, to say, you know, our emotions that come up are opportunities to look at what we're afraid of and what is in there. And the more we can sit with that and love ourselves anyway, and love anyway, the more we open to ourselves, then the more we can open to other people, and the more we can see them, and the more we can, you know, the more we can heal ourselves, the more we heal others. That's kind of the ripple that I've realized through this journey, that I think is kind of the biggest aha. As I always imagine, like, why, like, how can I really help people or impact people in my little just being me? And it's like, oh wow, as you really start to see people without judgment, because you're seeing yourself without judgment, it's a whole new world. And I'm just so grateful that I have stepped into this world, and this whole new world. And I wish all of you to, you know, have all of your dreams come true, and feel all of your healings, and all of your, just sending you all the best wishes. And I'm so grateful that you were here, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.